Well, it looks like we have a problem taking down this Confederate Reconciliation Monument at Arlington National Cemetery. It turns out that the sculptor is Moses Joseph Ezekiel, whose family was Jewish. Now, it's true that his family owned a couple of slaves. That is true. They actually sold clothing for these slaves that were about to be sold. But if you're going to take down the Confederate monument at Arlington National Cemetery, which was supposed to be a reconciliation monument, then you're going to have to take down all these symbols from California, the California state flag, any symbols representing Africa, the pyramids in Egypt, because slavery still exists in the Sudan. Didn't slaves build the pyramids or help build the pyramids? So there's an article about this at Fox, about this reconciliation monument. Now they're planning to take this down December 22nd. And of course, this all goes back to the Black Lives Matter protest in 2020. All goes back to George Floyd. So it says here, according to a press release from the National Cemetery, the statue will be removed from the cemetery by December 22nd. The move to remove the statue is in compliance with the congressional mandate to remove all Confederate memorials by January 1st of 2024. Now, the irony here is they want to take down all of these monuments, symbols, or flags that represent the Confederacy. But the United States was engaged in the forcible removal of Native American tribes. In California, Leland Stanford, who was governor of California, during his State of the State address, talked about this in a video way back. He called the Asians an inferior race, the Chinese an inferior race. So, why are we taking down these monuments? I mean, how is taking down a monument, a statue, a flag, how is that going to stop racism, sexism, homophobia? It's not going to do a damn thing. And these activists, they know that. Now, it goes on to say here that this congressional mandate passed in 2020 declared that the Department of Defense must remove all names, symbols, displays, monuments, and paraphernalia that honor or commemorate the Confederate States of America. Now, I've heard this argument that the Confederacy was equivalent to Nazi Germany. Can I tell you something, being somebody of German descent? Not even close. Not even close. You see, Hitler was a dictator. He went after everybody. And I don't remember Jews being put in ovens under the Confederacy. Do you? Or the mass killing of millions of ethnic Polish, or the Czechs, or the Slavs, or the Serbs. That happened under the Third Reich. Didn't happen under the Confederacy, happened under the Third Reich. And Hitler banned any display of the Confederate battle flag, in case you didn't know. An Arlington National Cemetery spokesperson confirmed to Fox News Digital that safety fencing has been installed around the Confederate memorial as preparation begins to deconstruct the memorial, which was erected in 1914. While the work occurs, the surrounding landscape, graves, and headstones will be protected, the cemetery said. And there was a group of GOP lawmakers, led by Representative Andrew Clyde, representative from Georgia. He wrote a letter to Secretary Austin demanding that they keep the Confederate memorial in place until at least the end of fiscal year 2024. Here's an idea. Why don't we just keep this all up and let people discuss this amongst themselves? Now, if your city or your town, through a vote, decides you want to take these memorials or flags down, I don't have a problem with that, as long as the people are able to have their voice on this. But when you've got Congress passing a mandate demanding that all these Confederate battle flags or paraphernalia, monument statues be taken down, when the United States government was engaged in forcibly removing Native American tribes And you have the mistreatments of Germans, Italians, Czechs, Polish, even Jews. Go back and look at the anti-Jewish sentiment in the 1960s in these large cities like New York, in Chicago, in LA, or against the Asians. Where does it stop? I mean, seriously, where does it stop? In a letter to Secretary Austin, Clyde argued that the memorial was dedicated to American unity following the Civil War rather than honoring the Confederacy, and that would desecrate the graves of Confederate troops buried there. Absolutely true. 100% true. Quote, despite bipartisan support for this monument, the Naming Commission established by the fiscal year 2021 National Defense Authorization Act clearly overstepped its legislative authority when it recommended that the Department of the Army remove the Reconciliation Monument from Arlington National Cemetery. Again, this should all go back to the voters. If voters in a particular city or state want to remove these statues, then they should have a right to vote on that. But when the government comes in and they start forcibly removing statues, flags, you name it, they're in violation of the First Amendment, because whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the statue or not, it's a piece of art. And art is a form of speech, a violation of the First Amendment. Now, this whole idea about the Confederacy, the United States was formed as a confederation, a federal republic. So in theory, you really would have to take down the American flag, anything representing the United States, because we were formed as a confederacy, confederation of states. And all 13 colonies, when we seceded from Great Britain, which is what we did, they all practiced slavery. Clyde, a Navy combat veteran, was joined on the letter by 43 other House Republicans. Governor Glenn Youngkin said he also disagrees with the Biden administration's decision to remove the statue in the grave of Moses Ezekiel, the renowned sculptor of the memorial. Quote, the governor formally asked Secretary Austin to ensure that the grave of Moses Ezekiel and the accompanying memorial atop his grave remain in its revered location at the Arlington National Cemetery, Governor Youngkin's spokeswoman Macaulay Porter said in a statement to Fox News Digital. And Ezekiel was a legendary sculptor. He went over to Europe, studied in Europe. No, but we have to take it down. Doesn't matter if Moses Ezekiel, if he was Jewish or his family was Jewish. Doesn't matter that the original 13 colonies all practiced slavery, or that the Union was involved in forcibly removing these Native American tribes. That doesn't matter. Or that Leland Stanford called the Chinese an inferior race in California in 1862, during the Civil War. Who are you people fooling? Seriously. So you can't avoid the hypocrisy here. But see, this is a prize. This is what they want. They want to go after this monument because it's the prize. If they can go after this monument, then that's it. They're going to end the Confederacy. Sweetheart, can I tell you something? You are never going to stop this idea of independence or states or regions from seceding, no matter where they exist. You're not going to stop racism or sexism or homophobia because mankind is flawed. Maybe it's time you people in Congress get hip to that fact. So I thought I'd share this with you today. You're probably going to hear a lot about this in the coming days. So they're planning to take down this Confederate memorial, this Reconciliation Memorial, which was designed to show American unity. And believe it or not, New Jersey, state of New Jersey, they did not end slavery till late 1865, early January 1866. Even though they had people from New Jersey who served in the Union Army. But if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Instagram I just said that, didn't I? It's Monday. I'm trying to wake up here. But you can find me at Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed 1 on X. So this is a Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. You know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time. And you all have a great Monday afternoon.